Here's your wrestling news for December 26, 2025. Your headlines for today include startling new info about Roman Reigns changes everything, WWE star legitimately injured during title match, Shawn Michaels forced to step in after backstage controversy, Bianca Belair makes stunning WWE appearance during injury hiatus, Chris Jericho not returning to AEW, shocking report emerges, emotional plea for Keith Lee to return after 2-year AEW absence, AEW star finally cleared, immediately placed in World's End match. Shocking Tiffany Stratton development, and more. A wild Roman Reigns statistic has been making the rounds, and it's left many fans feeling stunned. According to recent figures, Roman Reigns has wrestled just 24 matches in the last 3 years, averaging out to roughly 1 match every 45 days. For a performer once known for carrying the company through weekly title defenses and constant main events, that drop-off feels dramatic. Some fans have expressed disappointment, but the context behind the schedule explains everything. Reigns' limited in-ring workload comes down to one major factor: preserving his health, especially considering his previous battles with leukemia. Even now, with nothing left to prove, he's still choosing to step in the ring when he can. Reigns has already achieved everything most wrestlers can only dream of: multiple world titles, a WrestleMania legacy, and one of the most dominant championship runs in WWE history. At this stage, he isn't wrestling out of necessity, he's wrestling because he still loves it. So while the number may look shocking at first glance, the fact that Roman Reigns is competing at all is something fans shouldn't take for granted. There's more fallout brewing from the chaotic NXT Women's North American title match on December 16th, and new reports indicate that former champion Blake Monroe was legitimately injured during the bout. According to Fightful Select, sources close to Monroe confirmed she was hurt during the match and was unhappy with how the finish unfolded. Earlier this week, Monroe posted a photo on Twitter showing KT tape wrapped around her ribs, which only fueled speculation that the injury wasn't storyline. A number of sources have claimed that Blake Monroe said she was injured after the spot and specifically was unhappy about how things unfolded. It was also claimed that people who directly work on Blake Monroe's creative weren't happy. Monroe had told many that she was injured on the spot in the first Hail match. "We aren't sure of the severity." The situation created tension backstage. Some within NXT reportedly felt referee Felix Fernandez failed to properly check on Monroe before making the final count, which led to criticism from certain members of the roster. Fightful Select has originally reported that NXT referee Felix Fernandez got praise from those in WWE. However, there were others in NXT who reached out and said that there was heat on Felix for not checking on Blake Monroe while she was hurt. However, not everyone in WWE agrees with that assessment. Key names, specifically Shawn Michaels and Matt Bloom, are standing by Fernandez. They reportedly told him he handled the moment correctly and followed protocol by treating the situation like a shoot, as WWE policy requires. Matt Bloom, Shawn Michaels, and other referees were said to have told Fernandez he handled things the right way and claimed that there wasn't anything he didn't check on or didn't listen to. Despite the confusion, injury concerns, and the controversial finish, WWE isn't shelving the story. On the December 23rd episode of NXT, Thea Hail accepted a rematch challenge, setting up a second encounter between the two. They will headline again at NXT New Year's Evil on January 6th, with emotions and stakes running even higher than before. Bianca Belair may be off WWE television due to injury, but she just resurfaced in a major way outside the ring. Belair has been one of the top athletes in WWE's women's division, earning fan support through her in-ring ability, charisma, and championship pedigree. However, she's been sidelined for several months after suffering an injury at WrestleMania 41 and has remained out of action ever since. Now Belair is gaining attention again after a surprising appearance in a new Netflix teaser. The platform shared a promotional video for January 7th, 2026, tagged with the phrase, "What next?" In the trailer, a young girl is shown riding a bus until Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan suddenly appear, hinting at some kind of crossover project. Netflix captioned the clip with, "Your future's on the way. #WhatNext, January 7th, 2026. While the teaser doesn't confirm whether Belair's return to WWE is imminent, it does show that she's active behind the scenes and gaining spotlight during her recovery. For now, there's still no official word on when she'll be cleared for in-ring competition, but her involvement with Netflix has fans speculating about what comes next. Could this be a clue about Bianca Belair's first major move once she returns to WWE? We'll have to wait and see, but the conversation has officially begun. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Chris Jericho hasn't appeared in AEW for more than 8 months, and speculation continues to grow about his future. With his contract reportedly set to expire in December 2025, rumors suggest Jericho may return to WWE for one final run, potentially leading to a retirement tour and a Hall of Fame induction. Jericho was one of AEW's biggest signings prior to the company's launch, becoming the inaugural AEW World Champion and playing a major role in establishing the brand. Over time, he shifted from the spotlight to helping elevate younger talent, gradually stepping back from the main event positioning. On The Extreme Life of Matt Hardy discussed Jericho's AEW run and suggested that the former champion may have reached the end of his creative road within the promotion. I almost think it's one of those things where I just think the AEW fanbase has had their share of Chris Jericho in many ways, and I think creatively, he's done pretty much everything he can do there. I mean, unless they want to put him back into the main event mix, but I don't think the fanbase would be up for that, even though they could probably make that work in some capacity. Hardy then pointed to WWE as a realistic destination if Jericho decides to close out his career, especially with the company's renewed focus on farewell runs, something we recently saw with John Cena's 2025 retirement tour. I feel like there would be a good run he could do, even if it is his last run and he retires at the end of it like Cena did. But I think they would honor him and do right by him, and I think it'd be a big deal for WWE, especially in the immediate future. With Jericho's future still up in the air, the question is no longer whether WWE would welcome him back, but whether Jericho sees one final chapter waiting for him there. Do you think Chris Jericho should return to WWE for a retirement tour, or finish his career in AEW? Where do you want to see Le Champion wrestle in 2026? A major AEW star has made a request to Keith Lee during his ongoing absence, and it has fans wondering if a long-awaited rematch could finally be on the horizon. The former AEW World Tag Team Champion hasn't appeared on television in over 2 years following surgery in 2024. While Lee has stated that he was medically cleared months ago, he still hasn't been brought back to programming. Meanwhile, Brian Cage has also been sidelined due to a knee injury, keeping both men off screen at the same time. Cage was Lee's last opponent before his hiatus, with their final match taking place on AEW Collision 2 years ago, a fast-paced bout that ran nearly 10 minutes and left fans wanting more. This week, a fan posted about that match on X, and Cage responded directly, expressing hope that they could run it back once both men return to AEW. The message reads less like nostalgia and more like a challenge, or at the very least, a request to finish what they started. Despite Lee confirming he is both healthy and under contract, many fans have questioned why he hasn't been utilized. During an episode of Coach and Bro Live, Vince Russo voiced the same concern, arguing that Tony Khan should be making use of Lee if he's cleared. How many times are we reading every single week that somebody's sitting on the sidelines? They don't know why they're sitting on the sidelines. They're healthy. Keith Lee said that he's perfectly healthy. He's been healthy for 3 months. I'm under contract and nobody is calling me. That's why you would create a group like the Oddities, man. If somebody's under contract and you're paying them, get them on the show. Although Tony Khan reportedly had world title plans for Keith Lee early on in his AEW run, one rumor floating around backstage in 2024 suggests that Khan may not have been fully confident in Lee's mental readiness for that level of responsibility at the time. It's important to stress that this was never confirmed publicly. Nothing official was stated by Khan or Lee, but it was a narrative that circulated among fans and certain online discussions. Some fans feel that putting Lee back on TV without a clear path might backfire. If Khan doesn't have a real plan, keeping him sidelined may feel safer than a stop-start push that fizzles out. With Brian Cage openly hoping for another match and Keith Lee confirming he's ready, the situation now rests with AEW's creative direction. Whether this leads to a return, a feud, or simply another long wait remains to be seen. Do you want to see Keith Lee versus Brian Cage run it back when they return? Drop your thoughts below. An AEW star has officially been medically cleared and is now expected to compete at the upcoming World's End pay-per-view, and it's someone fans have been waiting on. After weeks of uncertainty, Darby Allin is set to return to action. Allen's injury dates back to the November 26th episode of AEW Dynamite, where he faced Kevin Knight in the opening round of the Continental Classics Gold League. Following the match, reports surfaced that Allen had been hurt, and he was later pulled from the tournament. Excalibur confirmed on air that the 32-year-old was hospitalized and not medically cleared to continue, leading to Jack Perry taking his place. Surprisingly, the update on Allen's condition didn't come from AEW directly, but rather from Gabe Kidd. Kidd reminded fans of his past attacks on Allen, throwing him downstairs, dragging him in a body bag tied to a moving car, and sending him through a flaming table before making it clear that their story wasn't finished. Kidd then addressed Allen's status and issued a public challenge for World's End, saying that even after everything, Allen is still human, still breakable, and still on borrowed time. Kidd made it clear, Allen may be back, but he's on thin ice, and Kidd plans to be the one to shatter it. With Allen now cleared and the match set, fans were expecting one of the most violent showdowns on the card. Given the history, the injuries, and the personal nature of this rivalry, Darby Allin vs. Gabe Kidd on December 28th is shaping up to be brutal in every sense of the word. Are you expecting Darby Allin to survive this, or is Gabe Kidd about to end him at World's End? Drop your predictions below. This one could get ugly fast. Jim Ross is speaking out after Devon Dudley publicly accused him of making a racially offensive remark during WWE's Attitude Era, and the Hall of Fame commentator isn't backing down. On a recent episode of Grilling JR, Ross directly addressed the claim and called the allegation absurd, making it clear he denies ever saying what Devon alleged. Devon previously claimed Ross once told him, "I don't like you because of the color of your skin." JR responded, "That's so absurd. It shouldn't even merit a response. I like Devon. I like him today. I hired him and Bubba. I thought we did a good job of booking them." Ross said the accusation blindsided him, explaining that he never had an issue with Devon professionally or personally, and questioned why such a statement would surface now. "I was shocked to hear that because I don't recall ever having a crossword with Devon Dudley. I always respected him and his work. I never said that to Devon Dudley. Why he would conjure that up, I guess to get attention, I don't know." He also suggested the claim may stem from personal dissatisfaction outside the ring, comparing Devon's post-WWE career to Bubba Ray Dudley's trajectory in broadcasting. Maybe he's not as happy with his post-wrestling life as Bubba is, because Bubba has made a tremendous success of himself as a broadcaster. Ross finished by insisting there's no reason for him to lie, especially given his age and his health. "At my age and with my health situations and everything else, I've got nothing to gain by saying, yeah, I said that one time and I really regret it. I never said it." To defend his character, JR pointed to the black talent he helped sign and support during his WWE tenure, encouraging people to judge based on those actions. "Ask Shelton Benjamin, ask the African American athletes I signed. If JYD was here, ask him. I respected Devon then and I respect him now." At this point, the situation comes down to conflicting accounts, one from Devon's recollection and one from Ross's denial, with no resolution in sight. What's your take on this? Do you believe Jim Ross's denial, Devon Dudley's recollection, or is this something both men should address privately before it becomes bigger than it needs to be? Share your thoughts below. Tiffany Stratton and Ludwig Kaiser were previously seeing each other, but recent signs indicate the two have quietly split and moved on. While neither star has issued a public statement, growing speculation suggests they are no longer together, especially as both have been seen in very different circles in recent months. Kaiser, who has been working in AAA as El Grande Americano, has been rumored to be close with interviewer Andrea Bazarte. Meanwhile, Stratton's been seen with 27-year-old Egyptian-Canadian WWE recruit Shady Enahas, an Olympic judoka who signed with WWE earlier this year. El Nahas is part of WWE's growing wave of amateur combat athletes being scouted and developed for the future roster. The rumors gained momentum after the two were spotted together at Disney World in Florida, where photos circulated online showing them side by side. While nothing's been officially confirmed, the appearance has led fans to believe the two may now be publicly acknowledging their relationship, even if unintentionally. Stratton's been absent from Friday Night SmackDown since November, following her loss of the WWE Women's Championship to Jade Cargill at Saturday night's main event. The match brought her impressive title reign to an end, closing a period where Stratton established herself as one of WWE's standout names of the year. With her championship run behind her and her personal life now drawing attention, the focus shifts to what her return will look like. Whether a rematch with Cargill, a new rivalry, or even a character shift awaits her, Stratton's comeback is expected to be a major talking point when she steps back onto SmackDown. Do you think Tiffany Stratton should return straight into the title picture, or start a new storyline when she's back? Let us know your thoughts. Don't miss our next video coming at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with all the latest wrestling updates. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.